Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another Hero House Reviews. Today we're looking at Klaus V Reinherz from Blood Blockade Battlefront, and this figure is made by Figma. Now, I bought this guy again because I liked the aesthetic of the figure itself. I had never watched the show, and frankly I'm glad I did, because as with Shin Robo, it made me watch the show because I greatly enjoyed the figure. Now, with Klaus, he is the leader of Libra, who's like the organization that's the main focus of the show, which is very quirky. The character himself, though, is kind of the straight man and just your typical badass, in that he's also very kind, but, you know, he dresses sharp, and I'm always a sucker for a figure that's in, like, a cool-looking suit. And I like the fact that he's just wearing the vest, he doesn't have the actual jacket. That just appeals to me. Now, the figure itself is great. Like, as you can see, he's got a lot of good sculpting, and Figma are always on point about sort of capturing the feel of the anime itself, and just giving that sort of manga-style coolness to the design of the figure. I mean, look at his hair and how sort of windswept it is, the way his clothes are all angular. They just sort of really capture that anime aesthetic. So we'll get in close. If you're familiar with the show, you know he's got, you know, prominent green eyes, the teeth. It's all sculpted in there. He's got his glove, which is very well sculpted. His sort of fight and cross is very well done. Even his shoes have been nicely sculpted and painted. And if we pull back and then spin this bad boy around, you can see he's got the cross, he's got the hole for a stand to plug into, and his vest is painted the right color. So, he's a really solid figure, perfect representation of the character. So, you know, strong start. 5 out of 5 there. In fact, the only point where I'd say this character falls down is just price. I mean, he's not huge, which is a shame, because in the show he's like 6'8", so he towers over the rest of the cast, who aren't demons. So he should be a really big guy, but in terms of scale, he's probably the same size as a Marvel Legends, just because he's built in the Figma scale, which tends to be smaller. So you'll see what I mean when I compare him to some others. But in terms of articulation, ball joint, swivel, good butterfly joint in the shoulders, really good butterfly joint actually, so you can get him sort of really shaping up to do some damage, getting close. Head is on a ball joint. Good range of motion in both the waist, and he's got a cut there. Legs, ball joint. Double jointed knee? Yeah, double jointed, but kind of well hidden. Some ankle rockers. Articulated toes. His balance isn't great, sadly, but it's, you know, serviceable. Plus I have got him on an uneven surface, so, you know, that's not helping him out. In fact, he looks really good. You can get some really great poses out of him. And he comes with a fair swath of extra hands. So he's got, you know, normal hands and ungloved hands. And this sleeve portion here, which you can see is tattered, he's got an arm that's not torn. So he's not wearing the glove, but he's just got his proper shirt on. So you can have him in a much more relaxed way. He also comes with a tiny little phone, because they're always ringing each other, which, you know, is a neat little addition, and the other figures that they're releasing in this line are going to have phones, so you can have them all having conversations from across the room, if you so desire. Yeah, I don't really have a criticism of the figure, other than the fact that he's a bit too expensive, I think, for the size, and yeah, he has the accessories, but again, Figmas are quite pricey, and for what you're paying for him, he should have come with an effect, because his power does let him sort of extend his blood out to make shields or weaponry, and we see him create like a shield thing that would have been a very dynamic, you know, ruby red thing if they'd included it, and it would have justified his cost a lot more. So I can't give him a like perfect score for accessories, so I think that's where he's going to fall down, but otherwise I'm very happy with this figure. I guess we'll take some pictures now so you can see, and then we'll wrap it up. One sec. Alright, and there you have it, folks. Klaus V Reinherz from Figma. And he is a very solid entry, you know. He's big for a Figma character, figure, sorry, but he's not big overall, and I'll get out our ever faithful Union Jack as a point of comparison. And I've got Klaus posed a little bit more dynamically than Jack. Hold on, we'll pull out this camera. But you can still see that Jack edges him out in height by a fair amount, which should not be the case. Klaus should be much taller than Jack. So that is rather unfortunate. Who else do we have to put on display? Bishop's much bigger than Jack, and as you can see, he will absolutely dwarf, doesn't even fit on camera with Klaus. Like, that's a laughable size difference because, again, Klaus should be taller than Bishop if he was in a 6-inch scale. And I guess we'll pull out the Figurized Bardock from the latest review as well. And they're close-ish, but again, Bardock edges him out. So, he's not big. He's not as big as he should be. But he's big in terms of Figma scale. Because this isn't Figma, but it's SH Figuarts. He's bigger than Spike, at least, from SH Figuarts. Spike has terrible balance as a figure. It's just so frustrating. He's bigger than Spike. So that's good. So, if you put him inst among other Figmas, he'll probably be correct, but with other lines, no, he's going to look a bit small, and that just makes the amount you sort of, would pay for this guy a bit hard to swallow, which is why I'm going to have to give him only a 4 out of 5, despite the fact that he is a blast to play with, and, his accessories and his aesthetic are all fantastically done. But yeah, I guess we'll wrap it up there, and I'll just say 4 out of 5. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more, we've got plenty of reviews. We have Hero House, and we have figure fights. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you again. Bye!